Hi Aquarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for February 1st through the 7th. I'm going to be starting with astrology, then go into career, and then go into relationship. This reading's going to be a little shorter than my typical videos because I'm back at work. The semester started and I need to get my footing first. So just give me a week. I'll go back to my the extended versions hopefully by next time. So let's get right into what's going on in the astrology. There are just really three main things that I want to discuss for this week. First would be Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. So that's happening from February 1st to the 19th. Obviously, it's in you guys, so it's happening in your first house. And, you know, Mercury is all about communication, text messages, emails, the internet, short distance travel, media, information, and all methods of transferring communication from verbal speech to even like cables, right? Having to do with that. But it's about more than that. That's really more about the Gemini aspect of it because Mercury rules Gemini, but Mercury also rules Virgo. And Virgo is the 6th house of our health, mental, physical, and emotional, as well as our day-to-day experience, including our day-to-day work environment, including our small animals as part of our day-to-day experience. So you have Mercury retrograde in this first house. And because it has to do with communication, you can kind of feel this. Is the first house is sort of a little bit of all the energies. Like the first house and the 12th house are a little bit of everything. So you can really feel this in all of your dealings. But it's also, because you have so many energies in your first house right now, Aquarius, my goodness. I mean, you have Jupiter, you have Saturn, you have the Sun, you can have Mercury retrograde in there, and Venus. So all these energies, very profound to have in your first house, right? So regarding Mercury retrograde, though, for this particular this first part of February, there can be challenges having to do with communication, but even within yourself. Mercury retrograde in the first house can create this kind of situation where it's almost like a 9 of Swords energy in tarot. It's like this, because it's Mars and Gemini, right? So, first house, the ruler of the first house is Mars, right? The landlord is Aries, but Mars does rule the first house, and Gemini is the 3rd house of communication. It's like this internal dialogue that can end up creating this kind of like confusion, ruminating thoughts. So some of you may be experiencing it like that. And just regarding like general stuff in your life, having to do anything from relationship to a family situation or where you see your life going. It could be any of those things, and communication regarding any of those things. Now, moving it forward a little bit, we do have January 30th till February 3rd. We do have the Sun squaring Mars, and that's going to be happening between your first house and your 4th house. So that 4th house has to do with home. Has anyone you live with, anyone living in your home, having to do with parents. It could have something to do with parents. It could have to do with buying a home, selling a home, but it could also be having to do with your metaphorical home. Like, where do you feel at home? And you being very sort of in this space where you really want to figure that out, because the Sun is about focus, the square is about tension, and Mars is about what is the right path for you. And the fact that you have this energy happening in the house that Mars rules, there could be this very sort of internal aggression that you might be feeling to figure this out. You might be feeling this need to exercise your wants and needs regarding some sort of home situation. It could have anything to do with buying a home, selling a home, remodeling a home, something to do with a parent, bringing somebody into the home, moving in, moving out, anything like that. Right, the idea of moving in, moving out could certainly be going on there. And now finally on February 5th into the 6th, we have Saturn conjunct Venus. That's going to be a little bit of a challenging energy for you as far as reassessing like love, like things that you love in your life, things that you value, even all the way down to your money. I think this is a very sweeping energy for you, Aquarius, keeping it real. Now, Saturn is about age, structure, time in something, the need to take your time. Saturn is slow. Learn the lesson, right? Conjunct me needs to blend with. Venus wants to just feel good, right? But when Saturn conjuncts an energy, sometimes the shadow aspect of Venus can show up. And the shadow aspect of Venus is manipulation and can be envy and jealousy, or, feeling any sort of like, just discomfort with all of these things, right? Can end up feeling that you feel almost squeezed. So if you feel that way, understand that this is, first of all, it's not going to last forever, but that changes need to be made here. Now, this can be a really good energy to, if you guys want to meet somebody, if you're single, really good energy to meet somebody older than you, or somebody with a lot more experience in a certain situation. So if you're single and you're meeting somebody older, that could be a good thing. If you are trying to figure out some sort of work situation, you meeting some sort of mentor who's older than you, or somebody who's even the same age but just has a lot more experience than you in a certain sector, they could be very enlightening for you right now and very, very helpful. So that could definitely be something that goes on. But you want to just keep in mind that Saturn conjunct Venus, that could bring on some marital discord for those of you who are married. This needs to reevaluate partnerships, really figure out what you even want in relationship. Some of you just may be in that space where you're kind of pulling back from everything and you're saying, what do I even really want? At the end of the day, what do I even really want? So we have Neptune working with the 5th house, working with the Gemini energy. So this, it's a Mercury energy, right? Gemini is the 3rd house, everything that I said. It says Gemini has to do with communication, business, signing contracts, short distance travel, anything like that. Now we have this also working with the 5th house. 5th house has to do with, the 5th house is the house of romance, falling in love, love affairs, but it's also the house of creativity and entrepreneurial efforts, maybe deciding to start your own business, getting into your own business, but you just being really, really unclear about it all. So you're trying to figure it all out, because we have Neptune here. And I say Neptune is trying to look at reality through a really dirty window, right? I mean, that is Neptune. So there might be a lot of conversation maybe about some sort of business that you want to open up, or a business that you want to get into, but you're really not sure. Things are not totally clear right now, which they're not going to be this month, so, or at least this week. So just, be patient with that. Or there's a lot of communication. Again, Gemini does rule online communication, 5th house having to do with romance. You might be communicating with somebody online and you feel a little confused about what the deal is with them. So we have Pisces, which is the mystic energy. Pisces is the landlord of the 12th house, again, ruled by Neptune. This is another Neptune energy coming up here, right? So Pisces is we do consider Pisces the energy of the mystic. The 12th house is the house of the subconscious. It's what you're feeling deep inside. It's also the energy where, yes, there's a lot of empathy, there's a lot of emotions here, but, just calling it what it is. There can be some impractical ideas going on right now. You want to be careful that you're not feeling sorry for yourself regarding any sort of situation in your life right now, because the Pisces energies can be that, right? It can be that energy. It's also, we consider it the house of self-undoing. So this is the house where like addictions hang out as well. So, we could become very addicted to thoughts or addicted to ideas, or situations with people. So you just want to watch out for that energy, right? Because this is just some advice. You don't have to pay attention to it if you find yourself in that space. But a lot of healing comes with that energy as well, which is nice. A lot of healing, surrounding yourself with people who are empathetic, or you really tapping into your empathetic bone. Chaos and conflict. Okay, this came out for somebody else. I forget who. Maybe Scorpio? No. I forget. Anyway, I guess you'll see if you watch for your other energies. So chaos and conflict means exactly that. And look, I'm not surprised. This is a very sort of heavy week. It's not... This is the thing, though, guys. I don't want to... I feel like that sounds very negative, and I don't want it to sound negative. It might be challenging, but everything is meant to be addressed in an attempt to move us forward in something. So whatever sort of aggression ends up rearing its head, whatever discord ends up rearing its head in any situation, or even miscommunication or challenges in that way, it's because something needs addressing. Something needs to be looked at more closely. And this could absolutely be happening internal, by the way. Like everything can be completely copacetic in your life. And I'm saying that because we get the Pisces energy. So the chaos and conflict can be internal, where you might be in this space like, I don't know what the hell I want in any area of my life. And I would not be surprised for 1 second, Aquarius, especially Aquarius risings, if you guys said that. Wouldn't be surprised for 1 second. Because Aquarian suns, I don't know what your rising sign is, so I don't know what's actually in your first house, right? I'm not sure, like, you know, so is this, all of these house placements go according to the rising signs, okay? First and foremost. Okay. And where the energy is happening, which will always take it down to the first house. I hope that makes sense to you. So, for example, let's say if we were discussing... trying to think of another energy. Well, anything. Like, let's just say if I was talking about Chiron in Aries, right? So that would be happening in Aries' first house, right? So that's what that would be, right? That would be the energy of that. I hope that's not confusing. I don't want to get myself into a rabbit hole of explaining things right now. But see what's happening. So this could have to do with the career that you're doing, that you're thinking about doing, have to do with some sort of business negotiation, a lawsuit that you have going on, the buying or selling of a home, property, investment, other people's money that ends up impacting you, inheritance, anything like that. So we have a Knight of Swords energy coming in. Ooh, so you're dealing with, so there's some chaos and conflict. Yep. This energy is all about chaos and conflict. The Knight of Swords creates this, right? It's like an energy it's created. And it's typically, okay? The Knight energy could also be a general energetic influence, but this could certainly be an individual that creates a lot of conflict and like leaves with no owning of any sort of chaos or conflict that they created, not wanting to own any discord that was drug up by them, nothing like that, right? They don't want to take ownership of anything. They just come in and they speak what they claim to be their truth, and it's a very challenging energy. And there ends up always being some sort of lifestyle change as a result of this. So something ending, something changing. There's a change here. So this could be, this could be you, Aquarius, or this could be somebody else. I don't think it's you, though. I feel like this is an energy either that is external to you, that you had to deal with, having to do with the money situation, or the general energetic influence where things are just like crazy chaotic right now, and there needed to be changes made having to do with money. So it could certainly be like because of COVID and money not being the same as it typically is for a lot of businesses. There needed to be a restructuring and you got caught up in that. It could certainly be that. And that's making you rethink things. Okay, however it resonates with you. There's the Six of Swords energy as the current situation right now, which indicates a necessary transition and moving away from something that was not working. Something that may have been toxic. If it wasn't toxic, it was not able to work for you. It wasn't the right thing for you. Now, some of you may be in a situation where maybe you're still there and you're not able to leave just yet, because we do have this cross with the Devil energy, and in career, this does indicate that you're experiencing some sort of maybe some sort of compromised contract, or some sort of unclear contract. You could be experiencing just a career that's unsatisfying right now, or dealing with some sort of negotiation where whatever's being offered is not satisfactory to you right now. Could have to do with a dominating boss, or even a toxic work environment, but you stay because you're financially trapped. So if you are in the Six of Swords situation, you may be staying in something right now, but like mentally pulling away from it because you feel like mentally trapped. So not mentally trapped, financially trapped. So you feel trapped in a situation, but I feel like you're dealing with like energy that's very, you don't know what to trust. You don't know what to trust when it comes to something regarding money. You truly, truly don't. But I see in the crowning energy, the Eight of Cups is you leaving. This is withdrawing away from the situation and moving on and abandoning the situation. So we have the Ace of Swords as the foundation, which is good. I mean, the Ace of Swords is having mental clarity and a new idea. So you're having some sort of epiphany. This is some sort of new idea. But this is definitely a bit of a messy energy, like in the moment. Or then you have this new idea and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to go in this direction. And then we have the Judgment. So and this is in the you position here. So I love this because for you, because this is about acknowledgement for your success is coming in, okay? It's coming in and your finances improving. So somebody recognizing you, somebody paying attention to you. So I really like that. Now the Judgment energy, rather, the Judgment is about, it's a Pluto energy, first of all. So it's always about clarity of something from the past, and that clarity ends up bringing a final decision and a realization. And I feel like somebody's having this realization about you. Now, in the same way, that's for many of you. For others of you, you're having this realization of something that you really want to do that's going to end up bringing you what you want. So an external energy that's influencing you is the World. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This really is. I mean, this is just you achieving your goals, right? And this is a new position or promotion or something coming in from somebody else to you. So this energy is coming to you. The World is about completing a lesson, learning a lesson, and moving on from something in a really good way. This is just about happiness. Now, some of you may be being asked to travel for work, because this is also a travel energy, but it's good. If that, however it turns out for you, it's excellent. Now we have the Hierophant energy in your hope and your fear position, which I think is kind of interesting here. Yeah, because this is about progressing forward in your work decisions, your direction, just basically the direction that you're going in life. Now you could be dealing with a very motivated or inspirational leader. So that sounds like a real hope. But I suppose that the fear is that either you meet this person and you're not sure if you can trust them, or you're in a situation where you're afraid you won't have that, right? Some of you may be feeling even a little insecure right now about the expectations of something that's being presented to you right now. The expectations, you might be very nervous about being able to be successful in that area in the way that's expected. You look at this though. You have the Magician energy. Beautiful Mercury. Magician is 100% Mercury here. This is a new beginning or direction in career. This can also indicate inspired leadership from a solid and practical person who is really good at solving problems, which is, because it's Mercury, right? And what I say about Mercury also ruling Virgo. Virgo's all about solving problems, right? So this is about making it happen, though. Focused creativity, turning visions into reality, very inspired action in the near future. I really like it. But, again, now I want you to understand, keeping it real, because the Magician, we have to connect the astrology. Sometimes you just have to do this. We always have to do it in my book, but whatever. The Magician is Mercury. Mercury is retrograde right now. This is for this first week. So understand that you're going to have to put a lot of work in initially, that you may not see the fruits of your labor right away. Don't allow that to get you down, okay? Just make sure that you maintain your boundaries, you do your work. The Nine of Wands does indicate you being persistent in something, which is good, keeping and maintaining boundaries, putting in a lot of hard work, right? But make sure you keep those boundaries going, because what comes after the Nine of Wands is the Ten of Wands, which is the card of overwhelm. So you want to make sure that you just check how you're balancing things out right now. But it looks good, Aquarius. It looks good after dealing with that challenging energy. Maybe you're dealing with that now, just things being a little messy and chaotic, having to do with maybe you got let go, or there's restructuring, or you're dealing with challenging energies, however it would end up manifesting for you. But it looks like you're going to end up meeting somebody who's going to be very helpful for you, which I really like, particularly with that Saturn conjunct Venus a lot. I like that a lot for you. But it can be a confusing time nonetheless, right? Change is always confusing, even when it's good. relationships now, okay? Hierophant. Page of Swords in the reverse. So in the past, we had the Strength energy. Strength is Leo. Leo is the 5th house of romance and falling in love and feeling very connected. And, you know, so it was almost like an unconditional love, right? But this is in the past. This is in the past, having to do with this. It's also self-love for those of you who are single. You know, it can indicate self-love, self-respect. But it is unconditional love and being brave to do something. It's like letting yourself fall in love, even if you felt like really nervous to fall in love, or feeling ready to put yourself out there. Just, you know. So the Hierophant in the foundation, and this is coming out for not a number. I'd say 3 or 4 of the signs, which I always think more than one is a lot. The current situation, the Hierophant is one of the marriage cards, you know, having to do with this. So the Hierophant in relationship, it's marriage, committed partnerships, celebrating the sacred in a relationship. But it's also about expectations and conforming to a certain way of being, right? So for some of you, this can just simply be like where your head is at, where you would really ultimately like to get married. You would like to meet somebody and just settle down and do something, right? We have this working with the Page of Swords that's in the reverse. So the Page of Swords in the reverse is, you know, bad news having to do with something regarding, I'm guessing like this relationship. So bad news coming in. So for some of you, this could be a legal issue. For others of you, this can be manipulation. For some of you, this can be dishonesty. This could be somebody who is very cruel, you know. Now, the page does indicate like a new cycle, okay? So we have this energy where it's like, you know, love, strength energy, feeling brave, whatever, thinking about marriage, but then dealing with somebody who's very challenging. As the sword energy is truth and it's communication, it's words. So when it's reversed, it's painful. It's not flowing well, right? And the page delivers. It's like a deliver, and it incites a new cycle. So it's like delivering this painful news, or this type of manipulation. I'm not even going to, it's either a truth that's super painful or some sort of manipulation, right? Now we have the 5 of Swords as the crowning energy here. So the 5 of Swords is, you know, bully energy, to lack of a better term, right? It can indicate an abusive relationship, somebody who's not very nice with their words, you know. But the thing is, with the 5 of Swords, which needs to be understood, Aquarius, is that the energy that pulls this typically finds themselves in a situation where there are a lot of arguments going on, where the issue and the main issue at hand is really not theirs, meaning yours, okay? So this is, you feel caught up in arguments that at the end of the day are not because of you. Like an example of this would be, let's say you're with a partner who has a commitment issue, or has a fear of intimacy, or who has a very controlling family or friendships, whatever the case is. And there are these arguments that go on cyclically that really are more reflective of the issue is because they don't know how to handle those other energies in their life. So they end up taking it out on you. They end up making it about you rather than owning it themselves. So in that case, the arguments that you're having are really not about you. It's really more based in their stuff. So you can't really mitigate that because you can only control yourself, but you're caught up in this kind of thing. So you can't win that because it's not even your argument to win. So the only thing that you can do is kind of step away gracefully and just leave it for another day and just say, all right, you know what? It is what it is. Like, they feel the way they feel. Whatever their demons are, or whatever demons they're battling are theirs, right? I mean, it really is like about that kind of thing. So we have this working with the 6 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords in the foundation, which is about a necessary transition and moving away from something that's toxic, that's not working. So I do see that there's a necessary moving away. But I feel like, you're just focusing on you right now, Aquarius. You're doing you. 8 of Coins, I like it. Mastering your craft, enjoying your work. A lot of you are just going to be resonating with it like that. Others of you may be in this space where, because 8 is the number of mastery, so you might, and Pentacles can also mean mental, physical, emotional connection. So some of you may be in a space where you're either mastering, really trying to get in touch with what it is that you want, need, and desire in relationship. Others of you may be actively working on a new relationship, right? Where you're not with them yet. You might just be in the beginning stages of it. So depending on how you resonate, that's what that can manifest as. The energy external to you that's influencing you, we have the 3 of Swords, which is the card of pain. This is heartbreak. This is divorce. This is loss, depression. So you may be dealing with an energy, or may have been dealing with an energy, because you guys might be not together right now. I'm seeing with the 6 of Swords, okay? There may be this temporary moving away, but somebody who's really depressed, Aquarius, they might just be struggling with a lot of depression, right? This is Saturn in Libra. Saturn is Chronos. It's time, it's challenge, it's struggle, it's heavy. And it's in Libra, which is the house of relationship. So a lot of times that heaviness can show up as depression, problems, heaviness, lots of baggage, right? But it could also be a third-party situation that they did that's impacting you. But they're feeling a lot of pain right now. I have to tell you, for those Aquarians who are feeling very heartbroken, I'm sorry, but I feel like whoever you're dealing with is actually feeling heavier than you are right now. I feel like you're just more healthy-minded right now. It does seem like. Now, okay, so we have in your hope and your fear, we have the Tower reversed. So the Tower reverse, interesting, because you might find yourself taking responsibility even when you're blameless in a situation. And this can also indicate that you're holding on to a relationship that's just not strong enough to stand the test of time. So you have to ask yourself, if you've clung to the past to protect yourself from reality or anything like that, your fears may end up materializing here. Now, this is your internal energy, and I feel you guys got Pisces. This is a very deep internal energy as well. So the thing here is to understand the collapse is inevitable, so don't feel responsible for forces outside of your control. And even though the impact of this situation may have felt really sudden and dramatic, soon you're going to know exactly where you stand and why it all happened if you're experiencing that. All right? Now this is in your hope, but it's also in your fear, in that there is also a release in this energy. There's a release in this energy. So we have the 9 of Wands in the near future. And the 9 of Wands, I just feel like 9 of Wands is about, keeping and maintaining your boundaries, but being persistent. Now, for a lot of you, this is ended, this is over, but you're not giving up on relationships. Even though you've been through quite a lot in relationships, you're still persisting. You're just keeping your boundaries up. You just are. You're watching yourself, right? And I feel for a lot of you with the 3 of Cups energy, you're just hanging out with your friends, hanging out with family, enjoying some social energy where you feel really like a nice circle of support, and that's it, just doing some fun things with friends and focusing on you. A lot of you are going to be doing that. Okay. Now, for those of you who are not doing that, who don't feel ready to do that, and you're still sort of on the cycle of some sort of relationship here, you might be in the 8 of Coins where you're really trying to figure out to the best of your ability how to fix something, even though there's this pulling away. You still want to fix something, with this person, and you may not be ready to release it. You still have fire in your belly for them with the 9 of Wands energy. And, you guys saying, okay, let's give it a go. Let's try it again. And this could be like a celebratory energy with friends and family and stuff. But, that you guys got back together. But, we have to go back to this hope and fear, This is a major arcana. And the Tower in the reverse, it's almost like you admitting to yourself that you may be holding on to something that you know really is not working. So unless there can be some really good communication here, you know, it seems like there might need to be some real honesty here. Because the Three of Cups, after the Three of Cups comes the Four of Cups. And that's where apathy sets in, and that's where a feeling of lack of fulfillment. So if you've been through a lot, and you better make sure that everybody is walking their talk, right? Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.